So I'm the daughter of Zeus. My name is Athena, and I'm the Greek goddess of war and wisdom. I live on Mount Olympus, just above the Parthenon, a temple dedicated to me, where my people come and pray and worship me, make offerings and seek advice and help, which I'm very happy to give. I care for my people very much. Only yesterday, Orestes, a young man, just came running into the Parthenon, screaming my name, screaming Athena, Athena, and just covered in blood. So I heard his story, tragic one. He killed his own mother. And so the Furies, these horrendous, dreadful demigods, chased him all the way from his home, chased him for days. And they wanted his blood. And I saved him. He was acquitted. I thought it was fair. He killed his mother, Clytemnestra. However, she killed her first husband and his father, Agamemnon. And my brother, the Sun King Apollo, he was on his side and he took him under his wing, and I trust his judgment. So we heard him out. We had a fair trial. I believe it was fair. The first ever tribunal in ancient Greece. And he was acquitted, and I believe I made the right call.
Dear all, my name is Andreas Vesalius. I am an anatomist and physician from Belgium. I was born in 1540. Everyone recognizes me as the founder of the modern human anatomy. I'm also the writer of one of the most important books of my era, De Humanis Corporis et Fabrica. Now, let me allow you to show you one of the most important discoveries that I've done. Here, we've got inner organs for both male and female reproductive system. Different? Of course. However, you will see how woman's uterus resembles a man's penis, which has been inverted. Then, if you take the scrotum, the testicles, and the penis, and you turn outside in, you will get all the genitals of a female. Now, someone say that I'm wrong. Charles Estienne claims the discovery of this little tongue at the neck of the bladder, which he calls the clitoris, which gives pleasure to female during fornication. Ridiculous! A woman is just a man partly turned outside in, and nothing more.
My name is John Reynolds. I'm Dean at Oxford College, and I am on the Puritan Council. Now, in the Bible, it states in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5, that the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Now, this also provides a problem for Shakespeare on his stage, because, of course, a lot of his plays have the women characters dressing up as either a young servant or a man in order to trick someone or in order to fool someone into doing something. So there's two problems with the Shakespeare stage in terms of the Puritanites, in the fact that they're dressing up, the boys are dressing up as women, and that is completely immoral. And other companies, the smaller companies and the more fringe companies, let's call them, they used to use actual women to play the parts. Of course, now it is completely out of the question. There was one actress who I know of, Mary Frith, who was constantly in men's garments, acting as a man or even acting as a woman on the stage, and both were completely they were immoral. I was charged with going around to all of these companies and checking that these people were acting, and they were not infringing on any of the rules that we'd set under the Christian law. If they were, the company was shut down completely, disbanded. The actors were sent on their way, and the actor manager of the company, who was in charge of everybody, can be, if it goes that far, there can be very grave circumstances for him.
What's this, I spy? No, Mr. Reynolds. The woman shall learn in silence with all subjugation. 1 Timothy chapter 11, verse 2.
Hello, my name is Robert Hooke. and I was born in 1635, and I work as a natural philosopher, a physicist, an astronomer, a mechanist, anatomist, a horologist, physiologist, an architect, surveyor, a chief curator of the Royal Society, a microscopist, amongst many other ventures that I've partaken in. So one of my most famous discoveries was that I published in 1665 in the Micrographia, which was a particular publication I did on all the many discoveries I made in the field of microscopy. The most significant probably being my discovery of cells. This I found from when I cut a smooth piece of cork with a razor, and despite having done so diligently, I found under the lens it to be perforated and porous, with the surface being like that of the hexagonal cells one finds in a piece of honeycomb. From this, I discovered I'd found something more than just the mere phenomena of cork. Along with this, I also have made some very fascinating illustrations, drawn by myself, of many insects I looked under the lens. This, of course, is a flea. Of course, a flea isn't as large as this, but I drew it to a much greater size so as to show the tiniest of details one can find in this beautiful creature. You'll see that it is beset with a multitude of sharp pins up the top, like a porcupine's quills, and it is adorned with some sapple armor. The eye beautifies both sides of the face, and it has a little hole here which suggests maybe ears. It has 6 large appendages, these legs, from which it would probably use its whole strength so as to jump. It is suggested that if a man had the strength of a flea, it would be able to jump over, well, possibly the Eiffel Tower. Of course, the Eiffel Tower wasn't around when I was alive, but I'm just such a visionary, I was able to predict of such a architecture. I am an architect as well, so I probably would have predicted such a, I was England's Leonardo indeed.
I am Antony van Leeuwenhoek. I am a Dutch businessman and a self-taught scientist. All my work was published by the Royal Society in London in 1677. I have been studying a broad range of microscopic phenomena, and I developed a new, more advanced microscope based on the work by my colleague Robert Hooke. Therefore, I'm one of the first people in the world to have observed a cellular structure, and I did research into the male seed. I call it sperma. From my research, I have concluded that sperma contains a fully formed little man or woman called a homunculus. Because of this, it seems clear to me that a woman simply acts like a pot, which cooks the ingredients that were created by the man.
Well, my name is Nettie Stevens, Dr. Nettie Stevens. I'm an American geneticist. And yeah, my studies are in cytology, so I like the study of cells and just how life works. If the Y chromosome is present, so the smaller chromosome, the male sexual genotype is formed, so the fetus will be a male fetus. But if the Y chromosome wasn't there, then it would just be a sexual genotype, a female fetus. So from that, I concluded that basically the base sexual genotype that we're assigned is actually, it's female. And it's only with the introduction of the Y chromosome, which is always in question, whether or not you will be male or not. So I found that fascinating. There's a lot of theories that stuff like environmental elements, like heat and temperature and stuff like that, that can affect the sex of the fetus, but that's not the case. It's purely to do with our genes and our genetics and our chromosomes. I think throughout history, it's probably been presumed that that everything stems from men, from being male, when in fact this science leads us to believe that it is in fact we're female at the base core, and I think that's terrific. And also it was really exciting being a woman in this field and figuring out this, and I actually found it, I was doing the same experiments as one of my colleagues, Professor Edmund Beecher Wilson. He was doing similar experiments and made similar discoveries at the same time, and he seems to have gotten a lot more notoriety out of it. So make of that what you will.
Hello, my name is Virginia Woolf, and I'm a writer, and I wrote Orlando. She had a great variety of selves to call upon, far more than we have been able to find room for, since a biography is considered complete if it contains merely 6 or 7 selves, whereas a person may have as many thousand. There are many scientific discoveries going on round about now, but there is no amount of science that can tell me that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, for it is fatal to be a man or woman, pure and simple. One must be woman-manly or man-womanly. People should identify with who they want to identify with, as it is much more important to be oneself than anything else.